Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we got a double feature for you guys to wrap up the American Freedom Week. We are in the legendary Geary and we'll be in the legendary Worcester. So hopefully you guys are ready. We're going to have us quite a doozy in both games actually. It's going to be fun. So hopefully you guys are ready to wrap up this week, and don't forget, next week, all Germans. Gonna be good. So yeah, right off the bat, Tears of the Desert, we're gonna spawn on the right side. We're gonna take this side. So that's the goal. I'm gonna go right down this right side and try to take C immediately. Now the Gearing is a pretty fun ship to play, especially once you get the hang of it. It can be a little bit iffy sometimes, but most of the time it is quite a bit of fun to use this ship. So we are just gonna push over to the right side and try to capture C. And there are 3 enemy destroyers, but notice we have twist and track, right? So we've kind of got an idea of where the closest person to us is. And so there's not really a whole lot for me to be too afraid of as we roll into the base finally, right off the bat. I've kind of enjoyed it, to be honest. I've enjoyed this week. I'm not necessarily looking forward to the next week with all the German ships, because you guys know me and the German ships don't really get along, but you know, we'll make it work. I can play everything, and that's mainly the goal of this. That's kind of the whole purpose of this entire thing, is to showcase that I have the ability to play everything. Not only do I own the ships, but I can play everything and play them decent enough. Now here we go ahead, we launch our torpedoes out, anticipating that there is a destroyer over here, because they are contesting us right now. And so we've got a nice spread. Remember, these are like 16.5-kilometer torpedoes. It's pretty ridiculous. But you see right there, I'm not 100% sure who is in the base with me, so I'm starting to reverse a little bit, get away from that battleship, because I'm anticipating getting spotted at any time. And so unfortunately, the person that's in the base with us is Wichita. That's not what you want to see if you're in a cruiser or in a destroyer. Wichita versus me, not really a contest. But I say that as we absolutely kill their first destroyer. So twist and track coming in real handy right there. That's what I'm saying. Like, being able to actually reach to anticipate where people are going to be because of knowing about the twist and track. Now, obviously, we're radared. It's not really that big of a threat, and me actually sailing out here while detected by the radar is kind of dumb, because now I'm opening myself up to be shot by the Massachusetts. But I'd rather be moving and have the ability to dodge than not. And as you can see, those long-range torpedoes catch a lot of people off guard. They expect them to run out of steam, and they just never seem to. So we get actually another hit. So we managed to kill a destroyer and hit the Massachusetts with the first salvo of torpedoes. Can't ask for a much better result. And somehow our Bismarck has lost all of his health. I have no idea how he managed to lose so much health already. But I guess we're about to find out. Now, Wichita over here is terrifying for me and should be terrifying for the Bismarck, because the Bismarck doesn't overmatch him. However, somebody's got a good shot on him and already took about a third of his health. And it's going to get a lot worse for the Wichita. And real quick, oh, hello, Fletcher. Well, I'll take this fight, no problem. It's probably not the best idea to get into a fight with a Fletcher right now with the Wichita right around the corner. But as you can see, torpedoes, and this Bismarck is all but done here. He has turned right in front of him. He's going to take 2, and he's pretty much toast. And down he goes. Fletcher finishing him off with the flooding. Now, the friendlies managed to get rid of the Wichita, which is what you call preferable. And so we're going to sit here at the base, capture the base, and then we'll move forward. And there is a very angry looking smoke screen over there that wants my attention. So we're going to give it to him. But before we give it to him, we're going to give it to this Massachusetts. You know, just keep him honest. He's kind of bow tanking us. He's got nowhere really for him to go unless he turns away. So if he stays there, he's liable to catch another set of torpedoes. And so now we're going straight for our twist and track locator. which is right there above the reticle. You can see that little half moon, crescent, whatever you want to call it. That is pointing us in the direction, and of course you see the Fletcher start opening fire. And so we're going to get up here, and we are going to absolutely catch this guy. I don't know what he thought he was getting away with sitting in a smoke, especially with a gearing nearby that's been spotted. You definitely don't want to be sitting here. Now, we do get detected initially, which leads me to believe this guy is not running concealment, but he's running the, what do you call it, the guaranteed acquisition buff, where he gets 3 kilometers instead of 2 kilometers. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. He never even shot us. Like, he completely fumbled it. Now, the Massachusetts is definitely going to try to shoot us, I believe. But we're going to go ahead, turn in, and try to go attack the rest of the enemy team. This Massachusetts, it's not concerning to me. He's out of play. We've got teammates behind us that can work on him. So I am not concerned with him in the slightest. My next goal is to take the enemy base at B and start working on that. We've already got one solo capture. You can see I'm going to start trying to get some fires, but he gets absolutely death-struck by the Lenin. You got to love it. That is what you call preferable. That Lenin is absolutely nasty, folks. Can't sleep on it. Can't sleep on the Lenin at all. But Richelieu over here, on the other hand, is now becoming a target for me. There's not a whole lot he can really do here. I'm going to be able to pop out of here. I actually wasted my smoke like a doofus, but maybe my teammates behind me will be able to use it, but it looks like they're actually going in front, so probably not. We are going to launch our torpedoes at the Richelieu. Not sure exactly where we should put them, so we launch both of them ahead of his position, assuming that he's going to speed up or potentially turn and get ready to engage our team. So we've launched them ahead of time, and we're going to get into the base and start capturing. Now, this is kind of a double-edged sword. If you get into the base and start capturing, everybody gets a message saying, hey, there's a guy in your base. And so that would make most people that were sailing in a battleship near the base that's being captured start changing direction. Luckily for me, that was not the case with this Richelieu. And wait for it. Yeah, he's not going to have a good day. Oh, we missed with the first set. Luckily, we sent the other set a little bit delayed and a little out front. And we are going to catch him with 2, and that's enough to take him down. We're not getting a whole lot of damage here, but we're up to 3 kills now, so you can't argue with that. And so we're 3/4 of the way done capturing, and that's a whole lot of bad guys sitting right out there waiting for me to engage them. They still have a destroyer out there somewhere. They still have 2 battleships and a cruiser, and the 2 battleships are right in front of me. I've already got 3 kills. Can I get a Kraken? That's the next thought on my mind. We've secured the win. We can't lose this even if we tried. So it's at this point that I start playing, can I get the Kraken? Krakens aren't that big a deal for me, as far as I don't go out of my way to get Krakens. But when you're having a fun game like this, it is nice to kind of top it off with a Kraken if you can pull it off. And with a couple lower health battleships getting ready to turn in to engage my teams through this gap, I feel like there's a better than average chance I'll be able to catch these guys off guard. So we're going to go ahead, reverse a little bit, and we're going to stack these torpedoes in this little gap, hoping that these guys do what I want them to do. And Yami seems to be falling for the blade, so we are going to get our butts out of here. Last thing I want to do is get detected with the Yami bearing down on me and the broadside of a Bismarck looking at me with all those secondaries. So we're just going to sail forward, try to get out of the way, and sure enough, we managed to catch Yami off guard. But not only the Yami, the destroyer was spotted recently, so we're headed out here to work on the destroyer as we take down the Yami. Bismarck is still alive for the moment, and it looks like he's going to get away with it for now. Oh, wait, I spoke too soon. He took 1. Is he going to take some more? Nope. All right, so we got 1 on the Bismarck. Not too bad. And now there is a destroyer out here that we're going to try to find. Now, obviously, I still am looking at Bismarck, but destroyer is going for our battleship. I'm at 4 kills. If I could kill the Bismarck or the destroyer, we win this fight and we get our Kraken. Bismarck goes down to our Lenin. A Lenin in this one, I don't know. He either was getting the greatest RNG on the planet, or he's just really, really good at putting himself in the perfect position to do damage. Because he was mopping it up. Now, obviously, I'm on comm saying, hey, Amagi, just as a heads up, and about that time, the torpedoes get spotted, and that Amagi is toast. Not a whole lot he can do about it. You really can't wait until you see the torpedoes to start doing anything to avoid them. Again, just like yesterday's video, you've got to anticipate the torpedoes and get out of there. The destroyer's last known was heading in your direction. Sailing in a straight line, waiting for the torpedoes is just not a good strategy. Now, obviously, we've got an Atlanta behind me who either knows me or just whatever. I don't know. I was talking to, is it Lord Daishi in the Alaska? Is that his name? Daishi? But anyway, the Alaska and I were having a pretty fun conversation, talking back and forth, and I was telling him, I'm like, I've got twist and track. I'm heading directly towards this last destroyer. And this Atlanta's firing his guns like a complete doofus, and it's gonna be a little bit of karma. All right, I don't know the guy. I apologize if you're a viewer, but it's karma. You're out here shooting me instead of paying attention to what you should be paying attention to, which is possibly getting in range to radar the destroyer. And so, in doing so, because he keeps shooting me, he's lit up, and because he's lit up, there's going to be some surprise torpedoes, and Mr. Atlanta is going to go down. He's requesting intelligence, right? As if I'm not sailing in a direct course straight for the enemy ship. But yeah, it was pretty comical. Me and Lord Daishi over here had a pretty good chuckle at the fact that Atlanta died. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty freaking funny. That guy spent so much time shooting me instead of paying attention to what he should have been paying attention to, and when he got torped, it was great. So you know, a little bit of karma, devastating strike at that. Like, just straight up robbed him. That's embarrassing, but like I said, karma. Now, obviously, we're getting closer and closer. We get detected first, but it doesn't matter because, hello, Sunshine. How you doing, buddy? You shouldn't be sitting there. You knew that I was coming for you, and yet you couldn't do anything about it. You tried to park in the edge of the map and hopefully survive because you I don't know. I don't know why people do that. You get more damage by actually, but he did depth strike the Atlanta, so what do I know? But we end up getting our Kraken, which is pretty awesome. I like finishing the game with a Kraken. Wasn't the highest damaging game ever, but it was pretty funny. 87,000 damage Kraken, top of the leaderboard with 3,300 base XP. Not too shabby with a Confederate, First Blood, Devastating Strike, and a Kraken Unleashed as our medals. Over 200,000 silver earned. And that brings us to the Worcester, and we're back on Greece. Now, I wanted to do this double feature today because, generally speaking, my light cruiser games and my destroyer games don't get as many views. So I figure if I put them together, maybe you guys would want to watch. There's been a few people requesting longer videos anyway for World of Warships. So I figure, what the hey, combine them up into one super episode, give you guys a nice little longer episode on a Sunday. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the first video. We're going to have some more fun in the Worcester. And obviously we spawn on the right side. It's domination. We're going to win our side, right? That's the goal. And so we're going to take our position up right behind the island and start unleashing all of the fireballs on the enemy. Now, the one thing that I will say about the Worcester is it has more armor than the Cleveland, but it also has that raised citadel, which is just absolutely devastating for a light cruiser if you get caught. Like, it just is. Like, if you guys saw it in my Meet the Worcester video, when that gross occur first hit me from like 17 kilometers and just took all of my health. I played a really good game up to that point. All my health was gone. Now, I will say this. I did go back to using EOP. Getting those penetrations on the HE is far better than the fires that you get. So I put EOP back on for that extra damage per shell. It adds up a lot easier than the fires. But I still have been setting plenty of fires with this thing. Just, I prefer getting the extra damage on top of it. Now, we've got another cruiser coming with us over here to see, but we've only got one destroyer on either team. So we're going to have to play this one a little bit less preferably. Right off the bat, though, we do have a gross occur first spotted, and we're just going to start unloading on the man. There's not a whole lot this man's going to be able to do because he ain't going to spot us, and as long as he's out there spotted by our battleship, he's going to have a bad day. And right off the bat, first salvo and a fire. Like, straight up. First salvo, a fire. We're already up to 4,000 damage done. Second salvo gets 5 penetrations. Like, we're going to be okay. And the thing about this thing is when you're at these kinds of ranges, you're hitting, or you're able to have three full salvos in the air. Now, we started doing the DACA, where we just let the guns reload and fire automatically as we're holding in the trigger. But then I go back to eventually just shooting full salvos again, just because I feel like that's more satisfying than the guns just firing on their own. We do got another fire on the gross occur first. And you can see he's already lost a third of his hit points. Like, it's no joke when you get on the receiving end of a couple light cruisers, man. There's a reason that they say light cruisers have the highest DPM in the game. Like, they just do. They start getting fires on you, your health starts deteriorating rapidly. But you can also see that we're noticing there's a cruiser out there as well. And so we're going to give the cruiser a little bit as well. We're still aiming at the gross occur first, trying to get that extra fire. We've got the enemy, well, actually, one of our friendlies managed to get a fire on him, but we're going to start shooting at the Cleveland as well. And so Cleveland is going to not stay behind his little rock. Now, our cruiser buddy that came with us pushed out into the open, and our battleship is right behind us. He's moving that direction as well. So we're going to start to push out as well and start to wrap around behind these guys. On these maps like this, these smaller maps, you have to win a side. And when you do win a side, it is such a huge advantage for your team. Now, we switch over from HE to AP for a couple salvos just to see what our luck would be on the broadside Cleveland with the AP. And unfortunately, we just weren't landing enough hits to really get a good feel for the AP. We did get a couple hits and we were getting ricochets. So we went back to the HE and started just unleashing on them again. But now that our battleship is out and he's engaging, we're going to move out and help as well. We don't want to be the first thing that people shoot at. You know what I'm saying? The light cruisers are fantastic as long as they're not the center of attention. As we saw with the Cleveland the other day, it is a fantastic ship when it's left alone to do Cleveland things. However, you get caught, your health goes away real quick. So, yeah, you got to be real careful with them. And I still love them. It's a lot of fun, the American light cruisers, man. I enjoy them. They're a lot more versatile than a lot of the other nations' light cruisers, just due to the fact that they can switch to AP or use HE, burn you, or absolutely wreck you with the AP at close range. And generally speaking, you can take some hits. You got to be a little bit more careful, especially in the Worcester, but generally speaking, you can take some hits as well, which allows for a little bit more of aggressive play than you normally see out of most people playing these ships. But I enjoy them. And so as we're pushing out here, that Cleveland's already been touched. We've got a Massachusetts coming up, so we're getting ready to start shooting at the Massachusetts because, you know, battleship, much easier target to hit with these super light rounds that we are firing out of these light cruisers. They take so long to get to the target that trying to hit cruisers at any sort of range is just difficult. So we, generally speaking, focus on the battleships or if a destroyer gets close. But you can see I was still looking at the Cleveland because I don't want to leave a Cleveland alive, but at the same time, you can't pass up this opportunity. This is easy damage right here, just sitting here, not doing anything. He's broadside to us. He's just absolutely begging to be set on fire over and over again. And you know that because it could be a tank build, but we got a fire like right off the bat, which means he's likely to be a dispersion build. Now, we do get hit pretty good from the Charles Martel over here, so we're going to go ahead and shoot at the Charles Martel as well. We've got the one fire burning on the Massachusetts. And a lot of times I've noticed that if I just leave the one fire, like, they're less likely to put it out, but when they do put it out, then we can switch back to him like he just did. He put out the fire that we set. We destroyed the torpedo tubes on this side of the Charles Martel. We get a decent hit on the Charles, and Edinburgh decides to pop out. And we're kind of broadside to the Edinburgh, so we've got to be careful. He gets a couple decent penetrations. We've got to be careful given this much broadside to that Edinburgh. At range, it's not really that big a deal, but up close, he can absolutely wreck us. Of course, same can be said for him. If he comes out, we can absolutely wreck him. Not necessarily with the AP, but definitely with the HE. Now, if he goes broadside, we can Citadel him to pieces before he even gets a chance to really do anything. That's the unfortunate side of the British light cruisers compared to the American light cruisers. We just have so many more guns. Like, if you go broadside to this thing and I have AP loaded, you're going to be hurting real bad. It's like the Atlanta. A lot of people sleep on the AP of the Atlanta, but how many times have you loaded AP in an Atlanta to a cruiser that comes around the corner broadside and one-shot them? I've done it. I've done it several times, especially Pensacola's that think that they can just bully you. They come flying around the corner broadside on, and you citadel them with all of your shells, like a single shell. That's 16 guns on an Atlanta. Why are you going broadside? It's just not worth it. And even if we're not firing AP, the EOP that we use to buff our HE on this thing means that the HE hurts a lot too. But we're just trying. We don't want to get into a one-on-one versus the Edinburgh right away. So we go in here. We start capping the base. Obviously, it's contested. That's going to keep the enemy from accruing points while we're in here from this base. But they still have a lead, so we've got to work on trying to knock some people out. And that's what we're going to do. We don't have a whole lot of damage at this point, but this Gascon over here is just absolutely begging for it. French battleships are really, really known for being bad against HE. And we've got a gearing out here as well, so we're going to take a shot at the gearing. And are we going to catch him? I mean, he's already taken a lot of damage, and it looks like it, but unfortunately, fortunately, the friendly Conqueror manages to knock him out right before our shells manage to hit him. So then we go to taking shots at the Gascon. Now, the Edinburgh on the enemy team has gotten out of B, which is allowing us to capture the base, but I've also given him too much angle, and he actually gets some good penetrations on us for a moment before he doubles back on himself. And so we're turning our attention straight to the Gascon, and we are getting ready to start bow in on this Edinburgh. Now the Gascon, he is looking at us like he really wants to touch us, but then he just doesn't. Like, he really doesn't. We're angled okay, but he could definitely punch us if he wanted to. And so we're just really fortunate in this one. They decide to shoot at other people instead of us, and our HE does what it does, man. We're getting 3,000 damage per salvo probably, plus the fires, and we're already up to 50,000 now. The friendly manages to take out the Gascon, and now we have to worry about that Edinburgh. Obviously, we're capturing the base, but as long as we're not spotted, we're going to be able to... Oh, hello. This guy is TLP Chevy. I don't know him personally, but I know the tag TLP is from the Lid Poppers, and the Lid Poppers were the original clan back in the day that tried to get me to join in World of Tanks console back when it was in beta, back before they even had clans in World of Tanks console. But yeah, that was just a little history lesson way back in the day. But we were able to get some good shots on the Massachusetts over the hill. Edinburgh's still kind of playing a little bit too timid for my taste. He's in a really good cruiser. He should absolutely have pushed in on me at one point. But because he ran away, because he let us capture this, that has allowed us to take the lead in this. Now, Yami over here is not who I want to get into a fight with. Let's be real. I don't want to get into a fight in the open water with a Yami. I don't really want to get in a fight in the open water with the Massachusetts either. However, if I can utilize the fact that they're behind islands and rain from above... Oh, never mind. He's no longer behind an island. Let's just hope he doesn't shoot at us, which has been something that I've hoped for a long time, and normally I don't get that lucky. But for some reason in this one, people just refuse to shoot at me, which was fine by me. Like, they can shoot at everybody else all they want. I'm used to being the guy that everybody shoots. If you're going to give me this much time to just sit back and pepper you with HE, you're going to have a bad day. And we're controlling the center location on the map. The enemy is starting to run out of ships finally. They have come out one at a time perfectly to allow our team to just take advantage of them. And that's something that a lot of people do accidentally. If you're going to push with people. Because if you push alone, all you're going to do is die. Trust me, I do it all the time. It's frustrating. Usually because I just forget to look around. But you can see this Massachusetts not long for this world. We've got him on fire again. And is he going to take a torp? No, he actually doesn't take the torp. Fancy. But we're trying to get some AP into the superstructure. Look at these AP shells landing on this Massachusetts. This is nasty. This is just nasty. Not a lot of damage, but enough that it's going to be able to finally get our first kill. Finally. We got a kill, guys. We're not completely potatoed. And we're up to 88,000 damage. Doesn't seem like it, does it? Just seemed like the moment ago we only had 35,000. But it adds up quickly when you're able to sit there and cycle these guns. And we get another immediate fire on the Yami. Just completely catching him off guard. Nothing he can really do. And then the Edinburgh comes out. Now, this is not preferable, but I'm not broadside to him. So while he can do damage to me, it's going to be limited. And my HE will actually be able to rip him apart. If he gives me a broadside, I'll AP him. But yeah, he's actually doing quite a bit of damage to us with his HE. But he's doing a pretty good job of staying angled, so I just have to settle for HE at the moment. And he turns away just in time, but can't really get a good shot on him with the AP yet. So we just kept hitting him with the HE. He took a good chunk off of us. We took a good chunk off of him. It's a pretty fair trade there. Yami's on the backside of the corner, and we've got the lead. There's no reason for me to go anywhere and do anything crazy. So we're just going to take what the enemy gives us. He's on the backside of the hill. He does spot us temporarily, but as soon as he gets behind the island, he's no longer going to detect us. We've got our team detecting him. Their Cleveland has a high caliber. Apparently that Cleveland that went on the far right side early in the game has been over there shooting at people, but has been completely taken out of this match by his own gameplay. Like, you might get a high caliber, but you're not doing anything to help your team, really. Conqueror manages to get his Kraken, so well done on the Conqueror, finally getting rid of that Cleveland right after Cleveland got his high caliber. But right now, I don't have to do anything. I'm anticipating the Yami sailing around the corner and absolutely decimating me, because that's generally what happens to me. People notice that I'm the one shooting them, and they just come around the corner to kill me. Now, Yami kills our Conqueror, and this game is suddenly a lot tighter. They have a Yami and an Edinburgh. We have 2 cruisers and a destroyer. So it's at this point that I'm really, really concerned that Yami is going to come around the corner, and I no longer have eyes on him. Our other cruiser is kind of in a position where he could fire at the Yami if the Yami comes around, but luckily the Yami does not. Edinburgh then comes around after it looks like he may have took a torpedo here. Our destroyer sneaking up behind him. Awfully brave by the destroyer to come in out of Edinburgh, especially considering I believe it's a French destroyer, so you know he's probably spotted right now. And that Edinburgh should be wrecking him. But, yeah, Edinburgh, unfortunately, not going to pay attention, and he's going to get himself torped again, and that's going to be the death of the Edinburgh. And that is going to finish this game off. We have 15 seconds left. We've got the lead, and only a Yami left who is behind an island, who is inconsequential to the outcome. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I know it was a bit of a longer episode, probably a lot more talking from me than you're used to, because I don't think I shut up during this entire video. So I apologize for that. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. And, yeah, I think it was a pretty solid way to wrap up the American Freedom Week. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. 106,000 damage, top of the leaderboard, 2,400 base XP, not too shabby. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.